Good evening. Welcome to the workshop session of the Mayor and City Council of the City of College Park. I'm Mayor Bianca Motley Broom. Missing my nameplate for this workshop session, but I think all y'all know who I am. Last name is Motley Broom, not Broom. Confusion is understandable, disrespect is not. And so we have two items on the workshop agenda, and the first one we're going to have to move because Mr. Ewing reached out and said that he has a family emergency, so we actually only have one thing on the agenda. Looking forward to hearing about this one. It is a drone flight training presentation.
Good evening, Council. My name is Charlotte Kane. I am the League Administrator for First Georgia Drone Soccer League. And I think to just give you an idea, there is a video that's about 2 minutes and 30 seconds that we can view, and then I'll go more into the details about the drone soccer program.
Oh, let me find that. My apologies.
It was sent separately.
I don't have audio this evening.
Oh, we've got captions.
But you can still
Okay,
see how it operates.
so there's no audio, but what you're looking at is them talking, well, it's got the words here about the aviation industry facing critical shortages, and especially with minorities, they make up about 10% of that field. So the drone soccer is a full contact team sport. And actually, I can pass around one of our drone soccer balls. I don't know, can we approach? Okay, you can, and you can see it. The children actually put this together. It comes in parts. They build the drone soccer ball from scratch with the motors, the propellers, the flight board. Once they build it, they have to also go into a software called Beta Flight. And the Beta Flight is how they program the flight board for it to fly. Once they program it, they're also binding the radio that they're going to use to control it. So they have to do that process as well. During gameplay or even in practice, sometimes you may have a repair that's needed. Guess who repairs it? The young people, because they built it, and so they repair it. That's pretty much just giving you more information. Oh, thought that was the audio. That's just giving you more information about the drone soccer ball, but we can go to the presentation now.
Sorry about that.
No problem. It was only 2 minutes and 17 seconds. It's played in a 10 by 20 arena, a protective arena. Every young person, before they actually when they first get on the team, one of the first things they do is get their FAA trust certification, which is an easy test, because I passed it, so if I can pass it. But we've had 12-year-olds pass it. It's a very easy test, and they get their certification, and they're learning about before you fly with a recreational vehicle. So we are an official partner of U.S. Drone Soccer. U.S. Drone Soccer was launched in 2022, and they introduced it at the World Games in Birmingham in July. So I went to that event, and I was very excited, and I thought I would like the children in Georgia to be part of it. And so that's when I started First Georgia Drone Soccer League. It was started through Stonecrest Fest, which is a nonprofit organization that DBAs as First Georgia Drone Soccer League, and they're both sharing the same nonprofit EIN. We can go to the next screen. So since we've started drone soccer and the First Georgia Drone Soccer League, in 2022 to 2024, we did drone soccer demonstrations and local games. From those 2 years, we had started out with the Georgia Arrows, which I'm the only one that wore a shirt today, but we have our team here. And also, we had also started one at Arabian Mountain High School the Sky Jags. So we have the Georgia Arrows, the Sky Jags, and the Georgia Arrows have been really representing and showing what drone soccer is about. In 2022, we did a demonstration in Peachtree City at schools there for the president of the TSA, which is the Technology School Association, and they were very impressed with it as well. And then we were invited 2 years in a row to Baxley, Georgia by Councilwoman Satina Fryer. And we did some interactions at the Baxley Airport, took our drone soccer arena up there and did some things with the children there because they don't normally get exposed to those sort of things in that rural area. And then we were at the National Night at College Park in 2023. That was great, and one of the firemen from College Park decided he wanted to try flying the drone soccer ball. And so we let him, and he did pretty good. You only get 3 minutes to fly it because the battery life is 3 minutes and every game is 3 minutes. So we've had 2 regional games. The first 2 games in 2023 and 2024 both were in Alabama, in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and Bessemer, Alabama. 2 of my team members actually participated in both of those, and 1 of our team members participated in the most recent one, which was Bessemer. Then we had the national games in Utica, New York in the first year, and then this recently year we had it in Springfield, Virginia. And so all of them participated in the nationals this year. With the next slide, you'll see all of the different job opportunities. You'll also see photos of the youth during a drone soccer game. You'll see them in the classroom working together, building the drone soccer ball, and they get to program it. And when you're going through this process, you kind of figure out which child is sort of engineering, inclined to engineering. You find out who's inclined to the software, who's inclined for flying, and they end up getting different positions on the team. The picture over here of the Georgia Arrows was done at the Nationals in Springfield, Virginia, in the tri-state area of Washington, Virginia, and Maryland. You can go to the next slide. In order to start a team, if you were to start a team in College Park, a team can have up to 10 youth on a team. In order to play a game, you can play one game with 5-on-5, which is an official game. So you have 5 on one side of the ring and you have 5 on the other side. And they're playing against each other. You can also do 3-on-3, 4-on-4, but those are usually scrimmages. They're not official. All official games have to have 5 players, and it has to be mixed gender. You can't have an all-boys team or an all-girls team. One of the things that really impressed me when I was at the World Games in Birmingham was seeing a young man in a wheelchair playing drone soccer. And that touched me because it's a sport that any kid can do. You don't have to be athletic to get into this particular sport. And even if you might have a slight disability, if your hands and fingers can work, you can participate. So I love that. And the ages, as you see, are 12 to 18, middle school and high school. But of course, if there's an 11-year-old and they're in the 6th grade, as long as they're in middle school, they can participate. So there was a breakdown, and I know you have 4 wards, and so we were just kind of looking at trying to get children from each ward to participate, and the youth have additional times to be a leader because the leaders get to come out to things like this and present, which you'll hear from some of our leaders. They also get to do demonstrations. They also get to show other children and to teach how to play drone soccer or how to troubleshoot a problem. You can go to the next slide. So there you will see one of the great things about the drone soccer is that these drone soccer balls have no GPS. So you are the pilot. You have to be like a Tuskegee airman. Every move the drone soccer ball makes comes from the pilot. There's no GPS like a lot of the drones kids play with or buy from stores that help them keep from losing it. This you have to control. And so once one of our youth had been on a team, played in a local game, played in a regional game, and played in a national game, one of our coaches, I don't know, oh, here he is, said, he's one of our coaches. He's the owner of Black Hawk Aerial LLC, and he's also a member of Hidden Pilots. He gives us scholarships, which is so nice, and he lets them sit in on the Part 107 drone certification workshop, and they get to do that. And so, but they have to have done those first 3 requirements, and once they've done that and they are age 16, Alex, he's here and he's going to speak in a second. When he turned 16, he got into the class. He scored 97 on his test. Let's clap for that. And he got his drone pilot Part 107 certification before he had his driver's license. But since then, he's gotten his driver's license, and when he was 16, his first job was getting aerial footage of Christina King Ferris's funeral, which was cool. And then he did a scissor reel for Atlanta and some other jobs. And he worked this summer and did some drone pilot work on the side and was able to get enough money to buy his car. Not his parents buying it, but he bought it. So now he's in the, yeah, we can clap for that too. I know a lot of parents are like, yeah, we like that. So, you know, he's a certified drone pilot, Part 107 drone pilot now. And we offer that, and so we have another team member who is 16, and she and 2 other children are going to be taking their workshop this year in October to study for their certification. Recently, we lost 2 young people because one went to SCAD for college, the other one's at Augusta University for college. But we had 8 on our team, so now we have 6. You can go to the next slide. So, any questions before I bring the youth up and before I bring up SED?
If you would, just go ahead and, if you want to bring folks up, then we can just.
Okay. All right, SED, would you come up real quick before the children and tell them what you've been finding out about people who are hiring Part 107 drone pilots and what they look for and how this advantages?
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. Glad to be here. My name is Cedric Lewis. I am the owner of Black Hawk Aerial LLC, which is a drone pilot company here based out of Atlanta. But I'm also the CEO of the Hidden Pilot Project, and this is how I met Miss Charlotte back in 2022. We both went to Birmingham to be a part of the World Games, and we saw these kids from these elite aerospace high schools in Birmingham taking part in this activity. And Auburn University and other universities was there giving scholarships out, and we felt that, hey, we need to bring this back to Atlanta, to the community, to provide those same opportunities for the kids here. So it's been my pleasure to kind of work with these kids, you know, coaching the team, helping with the Part 107, especially Alex, you know, him getting a, we missed the point, got a 98 and 97. Yeah, 98, right. So, you know, it's been a wide success, and it's really important because the drone industry is starting to take off right now, where it's becoming like a billion-dollar industry. So, you know, like right now, Walmart has like drone teams all across Arkansas, other places where they're doing drone deliveries. So they are like recruiting kids out of high school for these jobs. They're coming out of high school making $60,000 a year, you know, as a 17, 18-year-old. So we want to make sure our kids have that opportunity. We're also seeing like the film industry, like with Netflix and those type of places. They're hiring young drone pilots out of high school. Those kids average anywhere from $1,500 to $7,000 a day on set. And they're recruiting these kids from these drone soccer leagues because they have a specialized skill set, like Charlotte talked about, where they're actually learning how to fly very intricate patterns that most drone pilots cannot fly because they utilize GPS. So it's a specialized skill set that the kids can really take advantage of and really profit from. Like Charlotte said, you know, we're providing these scholarship opportunities to the kids, as well as with the Hidden Pilot Project. We're also in conversation with Elizabeth College in North Carolina, which is HBCU that has the first aviation drone 4-year degree program. Trying to, you know, create, you know, we're creating like great plugs, but we also have to have a great outlet. The one thing to teach them, but we got to have an outlet to plug them into. So that's like the next phase, is to work with these colleges, either here in Georgia, North Carolina. So when these kids go through Charlotte's program, we can fast track them into college so they can take advantage of these opportunities and hopefully get a 4-year scholarship. So I'm gonna stop talking and let some of the kids come up to talk about, you know, their experience. Don't run up.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I want to talk about my first time joining drone soccer.
You're gonna have to speak up if you're talking to the back
Okay.
wall so that everybody can hear you, okay?
And if you would, just introduce yourself.
My name is Ryan Crowder, and I want to talk about my first time at drone soccer. My family and I, we went to an event at Atlanta Tech, and we were going through vendors, and we came upon Miss Kane, and Miss Kane introduced us, and my mom wanted me to sign up for drone soccer, and I was like, I don't know, I don't think I really want to do that. So then we eventually signed up, and on the first meeting, I actually started liking drone soccer because we had to build our own drones, and I got to communicate with my other teammates, and then we had competitions, which was really fun because we got to communicate with other people around states, and then for regions, we got to communicate with people all around the world. So that's what I really like drone soccer now. So thank you.
Thank you.
I've been here for since 2022, so 2 years. I'm 14 and I started at 12.
Great. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Sade Benson. I want to talk about my first experience joining drone soccer. My experience joining drone soccer was unexpected because I didn't know what I wanted to do for my career. I was so indecisive, thinking I should do this, do that. But my mom told me about drone soccer, and I was kind of iffy because how she said it. But I gave it a try, and I actually liked it because I was interacting with different people, the drone, the different equipment, putting things together, and just having fun doing it. So me not knowing what I wanted to do for my career, I actually know what I want to do for my career now. Joining drone soccer, I want to be a drone pilot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My name is Alex Jones. I'm 17 years old, and I'm a senior in high school. I just wanted to highlight how important this whole operation is. When I was in middle school, they had an aerospace program at my school. Ever since then, I've been fascinated with aerospace and drones and how they work. And when I was first approached with drone soccer, immediately I was caught. And when I went to the first practice, we had to build these drones ourselves. It came in a little kit, almost like Legos, but we had to put together the motor, the engine, all that stuff. And through that process, I learned about drone pilots. I learned about the certificate. I learned about the test. And I did everything I could to get my certification. I studied all the way up until the test date, took the test, passed the test, and ever since then, it seems like what I dreamed about as a little kid has came true. And I joined when I was 15, and like I said, I'm 17 now.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Janae Kaysen. I am the drone soccer coach, and we currently have two high school teams, Arabian Mountain High School and Stevenson. But I want to talk about my experience as being a coach. I absolutely love being a coach, just seeing them grow up. Some of them were in middle school, and now they're in high school. And I'm proud that I'm able to bring my expertise as far as graphic design. So we actually had a sixth grader design the Georgia Arrows. So it's just really a pleasure to see them grow and excel and gain a new skill. And Sade almost made me cry because she said she found her purpose. So God is good, and Ms. Charlotte can take over. Thank you.
And I don't know if you've seen the back, but the back of it has our logo. Flying is like driving. And it is. That's what it's become now. You know, kids were like, I want to get a car, I want to get my driver's license. But we're moving into the Jetsons, where having that drone pilot license is going to be a thing. And so if you have any other questions for me, I'm open to them, or any questions for the youth.
Councilmember McKenzie?
Good evening, and thank you all for coming. It's a very exciting program to me. My husband is an aircraft pilot, but he's also a certified drone pilot.
Okay.
And we have our own a drone pilot agency. It's actually called G-Force Aerial Images.
Wow.
And we've had that company now for about 4 years. So, and the thing that I think that's so important about a program such as yours and people learning how to become the drone pilots is because becoming an airplane pilot can take a lot of time, a lot of money, does bring, income, but there are other opportunities that can allow you to still, be flying. You may not be in the plane, but you're flying it. So I think this is a wonderful opportunity. So I definitely love the program, what you're offering from what I'm able to see. I do have a couple of questions just about the actual, so the soccer drone program. So how high can these drones go? I guess when you're kicking them and they're in the ball, but what are we looking at? How many feet?
Well, it's played in a 10 by 20 protective arena.
Okay.
And it's usually not more than 12 feet or 15 feet high. You can't go beyond the ceiling, of course.
Okay.
With the FAA trust certification, the children learn that you're not supposed to go over 400 feet, of course, and then it weighs 0.55 grams. And so they learn about all of that and the safety of it, which is you're not going to fly a drone soccer ball around a bunch of people, and you want to make sure it's protected. And everything is done within that arena, and usually you have like a 35 by 40 space where you put that 10 by 20 arena so that you can have space for spectators, and the teams are on either side of the arena. So at any game, when you have 5-on-5, that's 10 drone soccer balls. And only one person's a striker. There's 5 positions. Well, actually, there's 4 positions. You have your striker, who usually has a flag hanging from their drone soccer ball, so this is the striker for that team, that's the striker for the other. And the drone soccer balls are color coordinated. The back of that is white. Usually the back, we have it a different color, so it can be school colors or whatever the colors of the organization are. And so you'll know this team might have black and gold, that team has blue and yellow, and then the flag that's hanging, you know who the striker is. Then you have the lead, who kind of follows the striker, and if the striker goes down, that lead can become the striker, but then you have 4 people playing against 5 people if their striker hasn't gone down. So then it becomes more of a game of strategy with your team. Then you have your keeper, who flies around the goal to try to block the striker from getting into their goal, but they cannot just hover and just stay right in the middle. They have to constantly be moving, and that striker is trying to get around that keeper to get into the goal. And then the other 2 people play the sweeper. And in order for the striker to get a score, once he goes through, they have to fly back to half court, and everybody on the team has to be behind that half court, or else his score will not count. They can't fly through the arena backwards. Like, there's a bunch of rules about it, and it's a game of friendly competition, because if you are aggressive and you're trying to just fly and destroy somebody, then that's a foul, because it's not an aggressive game. It's a game of strategy and intelligence. And so once you play that first round, it's played in 3 sets. So that first match has 3 sets. And if you have a team of 10, you have there 5 children playing that first set. The other 5 that are sitting on the bench could play the second set, or you might only bring in 3. And then you have that third set where you might bring in the others. And so 10 on a team, everyone can get to play during the whole game. But of course, if you got like a Kobe Bryant or a LeBron James on the team, you know who your players are, you know their strength. Some of them like to be the keeper. Some are great at striking. We do different drills. Some of them are called like the 3-minute drill, where you see how many times can you go through the goal, come back to half court, and go through again. And I think the most we've ever gotten on our team in 3 minutes was, I think, what was it, 47, Alex? Around 47, which is kind of hard to beat. But as he was saying, and I wanted to bring that out again, every year at the Nationals, children from California have been winning. We've got to change that. Okay? They have been winning every year. But they have a lot of support. The schools are supporting it. The funding's provided for them. They get to practice a lot. So this is kind of new to Georgia, and we're planning to turn that around and go to those nationals and come home with the winning cup. But we have won 3rd place in the regional games in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The Georgia Arrows did. So we can clap for that, right?
Okay, I have several more questions. I'm only going to ask one. I'll allow my colleagues to ask, and then if they don't ask my questions, I'll come back.
Okay.
This program, what location would you be playing in College Park? I mean, I noticed you said it has to be a specific
Well, yeah,
setting.
I mean,
So have you identified, has it been
I
identified?
think, what was is it the,
Tracy White Rec Center.
okay.
So it'll be inside the Tracy White okay.
Mhm.
So basically, we have one location in College Park.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll allow the others to, and then I'll come back with some more questions.
Councilmember Carn?
All right, glad to have y'all here. I've been sitting here just kind of grinning and smiling. I say, when a lot of times we worry about our future and the kids, and y'all make me feel a whole lot better going into the future. I'm a granddad now, so that means I'm basically a dinosaur. But, I like drones. I like what y'all are doing. I think it's a great project. Obviously, in the global gateway of the state, more planes fly over our heads than any other city on earth, not just in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So we definitely would be the proper home for something like this. Now, I know there are FAA guidelines and special use schedules for droning here. Technically, within a 5-mile radius of the airport, there are no drone flights allowed. However, I guess this is indoors. Now, have you spoken with the FAA about
yeah.
getting approval for that?
Sir, could you come for the microphone? Thank you.
Yeah, from the FAA standpoint, since it's indoors, the rules don't apply. So since it's indoors in the cage, the FAA guidelines don't come into effect.
Okay. I know there was an allowance for flights in fixed sites, but this waives that as well. Now, the old drones, they didn't have the software that adhered to the restrictions. Now the new drones, they got software. It won't work in College Park. They won't turn on.
The difference is the drones in that soccer ball are built by the kids, so there's no GPS,
okay.
so the satellite can't pick up on it.
Oh, good. All
Yeah,
right.
so if you look at inside that ball, like they create the motherboard, they put the motherboard together, the motors, all that like tossed to the receiver. I think one of the kids have it. I thought it's a receiver. Yeah, so like the motherboard tossed that receiver. That's the only communication, so it's not picked up by the airport at all. So there's no concern about flying with drone soccer here because there's no GPS embedded in it.
Okay. Well, you guys are some smart kids, boy. So I did think. So I know you. I realize you don't kick the thing, right?
No.
I got that down.
You
pat
have to
already.
fly.
I do know that because that was my first question, but obviously that's not an issue. Y'all need to get over to the FAA. We have housed the Southern Regional Headquarters of the FAA. You want to talk to Mike over there, Mike O'Hara or Perlis Johnson in particular. He would love to have you guys over there. Tell him Joe Karn sent you their way. Perlis handles the southeastern region of the United States. That's the 10 states here in the southeastern U.S.
What was the name?
Perlis Johnson.
Michael.
Perlis Johnson, yeah.
Michael, who did you say?
And Mike O'Hara. Perlis and Mike O'Hara, they handle this
okay.
The FAA region here. We own the buildings, the campus. We own the campus. We long-term lease it to the FAA. We've been doing that for over 30, 40 years. So you want to go over there and talk to them, and they would love to have y'all over there. There are a lot of other opportunities.
You know them?
I've been part of NOISE, which is the National Organization for Sound in terms of cities. And, you know, the next generation of aircraft coming are actually part drones, in a big part. The whole next generation of big aircrafts. I mean, they got some incredible technology now, you know, post, you know, since the weaponization of airlines, you know, post 9/11, you know, now they have things in place where some of those next generation planes can be remotely steered and taken over, even, you know, from far away. You know, so it's really some great stuff coming. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited about it. So yeah, we're looking forward to this. So.
Yes, one of our coaches, Coach Stephanie, is doing some history now with something called the Part 135, and she's setting up some delivery services where they'll be able to deliver in schools in North Carolina. She was the person, if you guys remember when Papa John's was doing drone delivery with pizzas, well, our coach Stephanie actually headed that project, and she didn't have one incident during that project, and she's also a coach. That was the young lady you saw in the picture when we were at the Nationals. She coached the team that particular event.
All right, tell me your name again.
My name is Charlotte Kane,
Ms. Kane.
C-A-I-N, and I don't have a Part 1 or anything. I'm a league administrator.
My name is Joe Karn, so that's close, you know. I like her already. Did you mention?
Jean Carn, related to Jean Carn?
Oh, well, there might be some relation there.
I'm from the same city,
that's
her and
my
I.
mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, yeah, kids, yo, keep going. Yeah, let's do it. I'm all on board.
Okay.
Councilmember Arnold, thank you so much for bringing this to the body. Any questions?
No, I don't have any questions, but I just want to say that I was elated when Ms. Kane came with this particular program, because I think that, well, from my lens, I would like for us to offer something different, right? I think I talked about being different during the inauguration, and this is an opportunity to offer a different program, a competitive program, and to also offer opportunity for young people to have a career. And then we have someone that's going to pay for it, right? So all of those check the box for me, especially when we're talking about academic extension programs where our young people can do things after school, rather than just sitting at home playing with a video game or something else, right? This is the new video game, and so I'm very excited about the program. There is at least probably one thing that I'd like to mention that may or may not be clear. Ms. Kane did mention about the 10 positions on one team. Initially, when we talked about it, we thought about doing 2 teams, which meant that it would be 5 slots per ward. And so, but I think that based on the budget and the funding that we have from our donors, we're going to start with 1 team and see how this goes, and then look at offering another team in the future. Thank you so much. Thank you, Janae. Thank you to all of the young people for coming to share their stories, and I'm just really excited about us starting this.
Councilmember Gay?
No question.
All right. Councilmember McKenzie, did you have additional
Yes,
questions?
I do. I still have a couple of questions. Just since this was brought to the body, what actually is the cost of the program?
So the cost of the program, I believe, was, and I want to make sure I get this right, we were at, was it $9,000, $7,000?
For the equipment?
For the equipment,
The invoice that you received?
yes.
I think that was 12. The
Oh, okay,
invoice
it was
that you
12.
got.
Right.
And then the actual program altogether, it depends on how long you do the program. If you're going to go from now throughout to the end of the school year, which is usually how drone soccer goes all the way through April, then it would probably be an additional $5,000 or $6,000 to do the program all the way through the end of the school year. And then that also offers a little bit of opportunity in the summer. It also offers official games held right here in College Park, where we would invite other drone soccer teams to come and play, and we would provide the referees and the scorekeepers. We would also bring our professional arena, but you would also have an arena which is an inflatable arena. So it includes a lot with that, and the equipment that you have. Once those children, just like we had a couple of kids go off to college, well, those drone soccer balls are still with us. So the next group of children that come in can take them apart, learn how to build them, and have the same experience. And then we can replace parts, which, you know, you have to replace parts sometimes, and you also need the batteries. They have to be replaced a lot. So the expenses of running that program throughout the whole school year altogether would be about 18.
Okay. And the reason, like I said, some things maybe you can answer and cannot answer. So the reason I'm asking about cost, because I also want to get into the donation from Clean Spark. It would be terrible to start a program that we cannot finish.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to be able to continue this. You know, we don't want to just have it for 1 year. We'd like to have it for the next year and the next year. So my question, I don't know if you can answer this, or this is Councilwoman Arnold, since you've been invoiced. What is the commitment that Clean Spark is willing to give towards this program? And is there any amount of money that is being required from the City of College Park for the for this program?
Councilman Bertle?
No, there isn't any money that's being committed from College Park. Well, let me back up. There is for the arena, which is already built inside of the community enhancements at the TWRC. And then I think that the breakdown for the cost for the
For the equipment that you're using?
The equipment and for the trainers.
Well, right, the
will come
trainers,
from, right,
yes.
right, from Clean Spark. And they have committed to continuing to support educational enhancement programs of this nature at the TWRC.
Okay, so do we have a written agreement between Clean Spark and the City of College Park stating that they will continue to, the reason I'm asking these questions is because we have to vote on this tonight as well. It is on our consent agenda, and I didn't want to pull it off the consent agenda if I could get my questions answered now. I think the program is fine. I have no problem with the program. I just want to see the sustainability of the program. I want to know that what any costs are to the city, and we did not receive anything in our packet that gave us information financially in terms of how much was coming from the community enhancements or whatever that is for the Tracy Wyatt Recreation Center, and what agreement was in place with Clean Spark. So those are the things that I personally would like to be able to have that information before I'm able to make a decision in terms of the sustainability of the program.
Right, and once you purchase that equipment is used, like that arena, you're purchasing that one time. The kits, I've had mine for a little over 2 years now. The only thing I'm replacing, motors here, propeller here, replacing batteries. So it's just a matter of replacement parts depending on the durability, and this is why you want to train the children in caring for it. And it's just like before you get on the plane, before they play a game, they should check their equipment, check the motor, check the wings, check all of those things. But they're young people, and so wings might get destroyed, but I haven't had to buy a new set of wings, as it comes with replacement parts when you first get your order. So I haven't had to buy a new set of wings for replacement parts yet, but I have had to buy motors, or a flight board and maybe an LED, And so right now we've got some new LED guards that have been implemented to preserve that a little more. So it's very durable. And it's not like you got to start all over again every year.
No, that's
Councilmember
fine,
Arnold?
that's fine. Go ahead.
Right, so the initial cost, the $9,000 for the arena and the equipment is a one-time purchase. The additional cost is going to be for the actual coaches for the youth. And it was, to my understanding, when we talked about this, that was going to be to the tune of about $6,000 a year. And so I would imagine that just with our other youth programming, we would be able to contract to pay that $6,000 a year to continue the program ongoing in the future. But the equipment, the one-time purchase, it's a one-time purchase.
Right.
Again, unless there is
But you do
something-
have to replace batteries.
Right,
you know.
replace but
But sometimes the
nominal type
league
cost.
supports that as
Right.
well. Sometimes we'll have, being part of the First Georgia Jones Soccer League, we're given that support. We have a league OS system where the children get entered in, just like you can look at stats. We keep track of their flight time, and it's a lot of different other things that go into the background of having the team. And then there's also the opportunity for you all to have someone have a seat and be trained to be a certified drone soccer instructor. Once, we get you all started, you may have someone in the community, it could be a college student or someone at the rec center who wants to go ahead and do that. And so, your costs are not every year that amount.
Councilmember McKenzie, any additional questions?
Yes, I'm still asking questions. Yes, ma'am. I have a couple more. So basically, or maybe just an explanation. Again, I think the program is fine. I just know as a governing body here that I would like to have a breakdown of what the commitment is from Clean Spark, what the commitment is that's needed from the city, that's coming from the enhancement or whatever the budget is that's going into the Tracy Wyatt Recreation Center, which really doesn't have anything to do with you. This is
Right.
just something that I'm asking in order to better understand, because it helps us in terms of I'm a fiscal steward, and I just need to have that information as I'm voting, because I don't want to have surprises come to us later. And then we also need to know, because the people that I represent are going to want to know.
Right. Well, there won't be any surprises later. Yes, and I guess have you been communicating with U.S. Drone Soccer?
I have not
Okay.
communicated with anyone. We can communicate once we finish this process.
Yeah, because we can work out, the numbers that you gave can be worked out.
Thank you.
Additional questions, Councilmember McKenzie?
No further questions.
All right, so we'll see everybody at 7:30. Appreciate it.
Okay.
No, sir. No, sir.